Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome to the Attacking Third on Thursday night on its usual time, 9 p.m. on It's a Wrap Sports Network. I will be joined with Pat here shortly, just me for right now. But the Union, here they are halfway through the season, sitting at 10 wins, 3 losses, 4 ties. Top of the board in the East, top of the board for the Supporters Shield in points, right? I'm not crazy. Am I? Yeah, 34. Yeah, 32. Vancouver, 32. There he is. There he is. Welcome, Pat.
You
is
say
in
my
the
name
house.
and you say my name and I shall appear with my clothes on. No. What's up, Adam? What's going on,
Thank
buddy?
God. Adam in the
Thank-
house. What's going on?
Thank you. Thank you. Well, listen, Steve, what a crazy week. Not so much for the Union. The Union played in Dallas, a rivalry town that we know of. Nothing was shown for Andrew Ricks. Got 7. Now he's got 7 appearances now under his belt with this team. So before I get started, again, we walk out of a draw. What is your take on him so far?
Rick?
Yeah, on
You're talking about
Rick.
Rick. What's my take on Rick? Yeah, okay.
Like I said, 7 games on his belt. What's your take on this young kid? Do you see him getting better? Do you see him just following the footsteps of the great Andre Blake? What do you see in store for him, or is this what he is?
No, I don't think we've seen where his ceiling is. I think we've seen flashes of it. But you think of the game back in April versus NYC FC on the baseball field. Great game, but it was the one goal he gave up that is is the difference between him and Blake getting that actual clean sheet. But it's you have to be very nitpicky with the 19-year-old, right? Which it's that's good to have to be nitpicky at such a young age already to find the flaws in his game. But I'm feel great with having him as the backup. I almost feel like it's 1A and 1B, right? We're 17 games through, halfway through the season, and it's kind of been that way, right? 1A, 1B, between Rick and Blake. That's how I kind of look at it. I know in years past, when Andre Blake wasn't there and Rick wasn't in goal, it was horrible. It sucked. Bendick was when you saw him in the lineup when it came out about an hour before kickoff. It was horrible. But when you see Andrew Rick, I mean, he's had great. He himself has had what 2 or 3 clean sheets.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I like what Andrew Rick brings to the game, right? Again, he's got a handful of games now. He's young. He's demanding of respect. He understands the position he's playing, right? You have to demand respect from the defense that's in front of you. He gets that. Listen, Alvaro Simula has the body. He's 6'5". He's got the length. I get it, but there's a reason why they keep going to Andre Rick, and it's not against Alvaro Simula. Great, like I said, he might find his niche somewhere else. To be honest, but I feel like Andrew Rick has a lot to offer. There's and again, look, there's a little bit of flaws he makes. He makes rookie mistakes that we see sometimes that he makes. That's going to happen. This is growing pains. There's some of the growing pains that a young player goes through. He's going to make the costly mistakes sometimes. Again, I think he pretty much learned his lesson back playing against NYCFC when he came out of the pocket
Yeah.
and Alonso Martinez found the back of the net. But again, I think he played well. I think he's up to the standard. Listen, they're not walking out with L's though. There's been a couple draws. There's been a couple tight situation that he's been in. He obviously given up some late goals that needs to be worked on. Let's not kid ourselves. He's got to work on that. There was a couple of late goals that he gave up, Andre Rick. Um, One was, with Columbus, the other one was with Miami. But again, he's learning. He's a young goaltender. He's a young goalkeeper. He's going to learn. He's going to learn from all this stuff. So again, like I said, though, he played okay. He played all right in the back of between the pipes. He looks okay. But I mean, again, this team on Saturday, um, Dallas. I would have to give Dallas some kudos here because Anderson
Yeah. Yeah.
Julio found was off to the races. He had some good scoring opportunities, but he couldn't finish. Right, that was a problem for Bruno Diami. This was his game. He just couldn't come up with a finish for the Union. I mean, he tried header goals every which way possible. He hit everything besides the net. Off the ball, off
Mm.
the post a couple times. So walk me through what did you see from Saturday's game?
Well, in the my final point on Rick is, you remember how last year we were talking about how when he was in goal, the one thing that you didn't really see from him was commanding, Glesnes, telling people, yelling, getting in those guys' faces. You wanted to see that more. This year, I feel
Yep.
like that's, the they respected him before, but now through his performance and what his resume has been, I feel like that back line, right in front of him, really respects him more. And when he calls things out, and he wants people, and he's directing traffic, they really respond well to him now. Um, but with Saturday, if to me it felt like I was happy with a draw, right? You're happy with a draw because you're playing away. It's the ninth game in May. To be able to walk out of the month unbeaten is a huge accomplishment. But after you get past all those things and you really like watch this game again, and kind of like, they were playing up a man for over a half. That guy went out. He got knocked. He got the red card in what, the 40th minute. So it
Yeah,
was over.
it was Bubakar. Bubakar got the
Yeah.
draw off Christopher Donovan. I appreciate all the likes coming in on TikTok. Thanks. Do me a favor, subscribe right here on It's a Wrap Sports on our YouTube page. Give us a share, give us a like. Ricky is watching from Facebook. Appreciate it, Ricky.
What's
But
going on,
no,
Ricky?
but
That was the one
continue on.
disappointing thing. That was
Right.
the one disappointing thing was, that they had so many chances, they just didn't have enough chances on goal, right? But you could tell that these guys were tired. I mean, you looked at the lineup that was put out there. I mean, Bender played. Let me go. And Bender played the whole game. Um, just the lineup that they put out just screamed, let's go
Yeah,
out
yeah.
there, and if we can get a draw, that's, and I would say in most cases I would be upset with that. You want to go out there
Mhm.
and get 3 points, but let's be real, none of us, I don't care how optimistic any of us have been, the few of us out there who have been, optimistic on this season, none of us thought that at the midway point the Union would be where they are. You know
Well,
what I
that's
mean? Uh,
I wanted to get into that too, but like you said, quickly, you know, I didn't see the Union. If you would have told me at the beginning of the year, by almost halfway of the season, that this team would be in first place, not just at the East, of the entire MLS with 34
League.
points, 10 wins, 3 losses, and 4 draws with a brand new head coach, by the way. With a brand new head coach, had a lot of shoes to fill, and he did. He's rocking those Air Jordans or Nikes, whatever you prefer rocking. He's rocking those Air Jordans now. And he's doing a great job of it. Like I said, great guy. I like what Brandon Cornell's bringing to the table. But like I said, you walk out of this game with a draw. Yeah, you went. I mean, look at the schedule prior to, right? You played at home against a tough Miami team. And you go on the road up in Toronto, so that means you're traveling on a Tuesday. You're going up there getting ready for the game. And then you're staying on the road. You go from Toronto, flying down all the way down to Dallas. And the coach, Bradley Cornell, is trying to throw different formations, try everything impossible to try and keep these guys fresh, not being fatigued. I mean, look, when you have Bedoya in your lineup, your starting lineup, like you said, it's screaming for a draw. You're hoping for optimism, but the reality of the movie was this is what you're going to settle for. Listen, right now, Dallas showed to me they have one guy who's capable of scoring, but he's not finding the back of the net either, and that's Anderson Julio. And they got Acosta down there. So I mean, they
Yeah,
got players. They just and I thought Dallas would be a lot better what they were at with Acosta joining that squad.
me too. Me too.
I did not see them being a bottom dweller of a squad. But I'll tell you one player, not to shift gears, who has been playing red hot since the All Star break, is coming around the corner there, Steve. And one player in the entire MLS is Messier. He's starting to rev up. If you've seen him,
Yeah.
he put away Columbus. I thought Columbus would have given them a better battle. He took care of business out there. He's starting to rev up a little bit, Messier. So that's something to keep your eye on. But if you look at for the Philadelphia Union as far as all stars, I think we can all agree. You and I can agree with three in particular. Ty Bariba with 13 goals, leading the MLS in goals. Quentin Sullivan, who just got the call up with a 7 assists, and you have Kai Wagner also with 7 assists. I think you can go
Those
down that avenue as well.
those three have to be
What's that?
locks.
Mhm.
Those three have to be locks, right? For All Star. Um, just the stats alone, yeah, they're on the best team right now on paper, or record wise, point wise. Um, they're both. I know Quinn is up there for assists. He's either like first or second in the league. You mentioned Ty; he's leading the league in goals. And then Kai, he's right there too. He's had big moments. I really feel like Kai has taken over that role of like being the heart of this team. You know how like I feel like that was Martinez for so long, like the real heart of like the fan base of Philadelphia. Like obviously he's not from here, but he has that same grit. He has that same, blue collar sort of, mentality about the way he goes about, playing the game. And I really feel like he's taken over that role. So, I feel like he's got to be up there in all-star votes.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he's got he's there for your All Star voting. Like I said, Ty's definitely going to be in whether you like it or not. He definitely deserves it. Kai, I think Kai just being a likable guy. Like I said, being a playmaker, he'll be there. And like you said, you bring up an interesting point about Kai Wagner. I think he is. I mean, I get it. You have the voices of Andre Blake being the face of being the face of the team.
Mhm.
Glasnost being the defensive front of the team. But when it comes to offense, I think with two guys being the leaders of that team, I think Bedoya, I think of Kai Wagner being the faces of that team. Like I
Yeah.
really do. I mean, when you really break down that Union team as a whole, and you're looking for leaders, they got like I said, Andre Blake is your goaltender. Glasnost is your defensive mind. You have Bedoya, just the overall. locker room, coaching the young guys, looking over everything, and then yet on the field, Kai Wagner's there to kind of be the vision. You see the vision he provides, the stuff he can see when in the two piece, finding guys down low. I mean, he's got to be a voice in that locker room as well.
I'd say even this. I'd say Kai might be more of a leader. And I know that Blake's always going to get, the captain band whenever, Bedoya's not out there, or even sometimes Glesnes, when he's out there ahead of Blake. But Blake's gone so much, either between injury or being away with,
That's a good point.
with his national team, with Jamaica. It's hard to be that real leader, that real captain. And I know Bedoya's days, this could be his last season here. Glesnes too, even. Can you see Kai being the next guy who gets to, automatically, you don't have to second guess it. He's the one who's getting the armband, the captain sleeve. Can you
Yeah,
see him next year being that guy every in the picture and all that, who's getting it every single match?
he's getting it. I mean, he's definitely a
Yeah.
Philly for sure. He's well respected. Listen, yeah, I mean the way he came back, mending his some off the field issues he had last year or 2 years ago, but he's a straight edge guy. He came back and
He
really
owned it.
took he owned it. He manned up to it. And I can respect somebody who could come up front and say, yeah, I did something stupid, and run with it, and then try and deny it and hide it. Um, he came up, he owned it, and it's been ever since he's still doing what he does best, just provides,
Yep.
using great vision for the field. Kai Wagner, like I said, absolutely drops the eagle eye, and he's got it for his team. So yeah, I see by next year he probably year or two he'll be your captain of this squad moving forward. And listen, he's a well respected guy right now. He wears Philly on the sleeves. I remember the episode I was in the locker room with him and get a couple post game interviews with him and Nathan Harrell. Nathan Harrell he busted out the Tampa Bay Bucks jersey and Kai Wagner
Yeah.
said, "Yo." Kai Wagner said, "Yo,
Get
get
that
that
out of
off.
here.
Get it out of here. We can't have that here." So, but it's funny. You and I are breaking down all stars. Should Bradley Cornell be the coach of that team if you're talking about all stars?
I
Think
think
about it.
I personally, I mean, yes, right? What an honor. I think that would be great for him. Personally, I would rather, I look at the All-Star. You look at like the Phillies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look at all the All-Stars they had last year and everything like that, and look what good it did. Sometimes I feel like the less All-Stars you have on the team, to include the coach. If the coach is going to be the All-Star, head coach, he's an all-star too, essentially. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
I would much rather let it go to like Vancouver, whoever's the head coach over there. I'm not good with names. I don't
Okay.
focus on Vancouver, but I would
Right.
much
No.
rather.
No.
That's just me. I'd rather let him get that time off, um, to just reset and get ready for, the grind of what the second half is going to be. The summer's going to be hot, and then the playoff time, it transitions and it's cold again. You know what I mean? So it's
Well,
going to
you
be the
got.
same thing mindset wise.
He
So
still has. He's still because you mentioned Vancouver. That would be the West. But I mean, in the East, I mean, I don't know if there's a better coach right now. I mean, I would think he's better than Patrick Noonan right now. I think
give it to
he's. I
give it to
mean,
what's his Nancy over at Columbus, Wilfred.
Wilford
Let,
Nancy.
let the Columbus, yeah, Wilfred, yeah, let him
Wilford
coach
Nancy,
it.
or I don't know, man. I never seen a guy who throws different formations at people and not have. So I can only imagine what he would look like with an all-star lineup. You imagine him
He would take
coaching
it
like
too. I
Ty.
think he would. I think he would
You,
take it.
you imagine him coaching like and I know these other guys probably get called, but could you imagine like him coaching, having Messier and Baribo on the same team under him?
Yeah, that would be. Well, I mean, Baribo, he got
Woo!
injured. Did you hear that? Did you see that from
No.
Jose? Yeah, and then Carnell had
Bro,
mentioned it. He does this like coffee with coach with coffee with the coach or something like that with Sage
okay.
on YouTube, and he had mentioned that Baribo and Ua had got a little nicked up versus Dallas. So that's why Ty he didn't actually travel, or he traveled with the Israel national team, but he's not going to actually play with them or anything like that. So that's one thing I'm concerned about now with the
Well,
upcoming schedule and everything. So
I saw him traveling. I
something to
saw him
monitor.
doing something to monitor. I saw him working out in the pool. Well, according to the Instagram, he was working out,
He didn't
and
mention what the injury was. He just mentioned
no.
that they had got
Mm.
nicked up.
Well,
I do have a
hopefully it.
question though for you on the final question with the All-Star stuff. Out of if you could pick one more Union person, one more Union player besides the big three, I would, of Ty, um, Wagner, and Quinn, who would you give the nod to if you only had four votes, four Union votes? Who would you
I'll,
give the nod to on the squad?
because I want to go defense. I want to go
Yeah, I got
defense,
two guys in mind.
but if it, man, it's a hard question because I probably gonna want to go. I know it sounds. I know he's only been on with the team, as far as like just a minute, but probably Dean Jacques Jean or Glesnes,
Yeah,
one of the two. I would have to
yeah.
go
I would even
Glesnes.
say Lukic.
Lukic could
The
be a
two
good
guys I was
one.
going to say was Lukic and Danley.
Danley, yeah. I mean, that's where I'm looking at. I mean, I was just trying to look for
Yeah,
flip the script and trying to go for a defense side of the ball, but yeah, that's hard. That's a hard call.
I
Um,
think Danley, he offers you defense, but he also gives you that offensive spark. I just think he's been so good. He's been that missing piece, on both sides of the ball. He doesn't commit many fouls. He's very, very under control of his tackles. Um, he's great with the ball at his feet. I mean, we've seen some of his goals, what he's been able to create. So, he would be my fourth pick for Union All-Star.
yeah. So if you're like I said, looking at the squad though, like I said, Ty Baribo obviously would be an easy layup for the All Star break. 13
Yep.
goals leading the league. Quinn Sullivan would be in there. He's in the conversation. Kai Wagner is definitely in the conversation. And like I said, for me, the guy who would coach it would have to be Bradley Carnell. I mean, I know there's Patrick Nguyen with Cincinnati. There's the coach with over what you say his name was. I'm sorry. I don't want to butcher it.
For
The
Nancy.
Wilford, you got Wilford Nancy, you have Patrick Nguyen, but as an all-star coach, I can't see on the Eastern Conference why not Bradley Carnell? Why not the way he flipped this Union team around, filling the big shoes of Jim Curtin and rocking those Air Jordans. This guy has done a tremendous job. Throws in different formations, really disguising up his offense and defense. Uh, does everything that you can ask for. He definitely deserves, if they're looking for a coach in the MLS to coach it, he definitely deserves the nod. I mean, even look at the Miami coach. What did he tell me? His team's in poop right now. Their team's in poop, and he's throwing himself. So
He held his hand out like this too and was, we
yeah,
we are
he gave me this.
who.
He gave me this. We are poop. We are poop. So that's where I'm going.
I mean, here this was one of the things that Sage had talked to Carnell about in that coffee with the coach show she does in the month of May. 0 losses in 9 matches, 11
Mm.
now unbeaten streak, 22 different goal starters. So you mentioned about all the different lineups and everything that he's not afraid to put out there. So 22 different starters, 18 goals from 11 different goal scorers, right? And what Carnell said to that was, I think it just shows how much of a proactive team we are. And I was like, I love that, because that's exactly what I think he preaches is, be proactive. Even when you don't have the ball, be proactive doing something out there to get the possession back in our hands, and it's been great to see. Now I'm worried now with what we have coming up. I think you were getting ready to start talking about, the schedule that we have coming up and the guys who we could be having, who could be missing because of being away with the Gold Cup.
Yeah. Um, being away, being away at the Gold Cup, you have, like I said, you have
Quinn
Charlotte,
and Nate.
Quinn and Nate. You have Father's Day weekend coming up. You're gonna be missing some players, and then you go on the road for 3 straight, all in the
Yeah.
Midwest area. You have to go up to Chicago, fly out to Chicago. Then you have to go at the end of the month on a Sunday night. You got Columbus, and then you fly out the following week, right after 4th of July. You got Nashville, and
Yeah.
that's to me a revenge game because Nashville came in here and mopped the floor.
You got to
with
get them
you.
back.
You
Got to get them back.
You have to have answers.
And they're
You
hot
have
right
to
now
have
too. They're climbing the power rankings.
Yeah, they are climbing the power rankings now. Listen, so we got to see what this Union team is going to do. It, but again, this is more of an eye opener. So if they walk out with everything going on this summer, which we kind of expected, with everyone getting called ups and all this other stuff, some players getting hurt, all this other stuff, and the way
Yeah.
that Bradley Cornell is making the adjustments again, rolling out with a young puppy. His franchise goalie is not with the team. If he's not hurt, he's traveling, and it's not against him. He's one of the best MLS goaltenders of all time. But when he's someone's trying to right now fill those shoes with a young puppy. So, and I'm going to take this a step further too, Stephen. You're really going to like this. I think Bradley Cornell, outside Nick Sirianni, is the best head coach in Philly right now. Think about it.
Yeah.
Topper.
I mean,
No?
you'll get the diehard baseball fans who are, Philly guys who will say, well, look at what, not tonight, what the Phillies did tonight,
No.
but they'll try to defend him. But I mean, it's hard to say no. It's hard to say he's not second.
It's hard to defend. It's hard. No, and this is where this team usually gets cold. They usually fall apart at this time, and this is what happened last year with the Phillies. Topper does some good things, but there's also some questionable decisions of what he does. Yeah, Flyers is a remain to be seen with Rick Tocchet and see how he can get this Flyers team to transition over. Nick Nurse
Definitely ain't
without
Nurse.
Joel Embiid, it's without Joel Embiid. Nick Nurse is kind of I hate to say it, but mediocre. You look at Ian Rubel. He is a rookie head coach, but he has a lot to improve with the Philadelphia Wings. The Water Dogs, another team. We'll have to see what happens this year. But you look through all the teams in Philadelphia outside Nick Sirianni. Bradley Cornell is the next best head coach. Straight up.
I mean,
straight up.
It's hard to argue.
It's hard to argue when you're leading the league.
It's hard to argue.
Staying hot. You and I are probably wondering when's the other shoe going to drop, like it's happened right now with the Phillies. When's the other shoe going to drop for this Union team? And so far, they're floating on the cloud right now, floating, and coasting.
And it's I try and prevent myself from having that. When's the other shoe going to fall? Because Curtin was there for 10 years, he was the head coach for 10 years. So you got accustomed to something, but there is a lot of players who were there for so long too. This is such a new team, all the way around. It's a new philosophy. It's not the same. And I think we, through 17 games, through how many US Open Cup games, now, to be where they're at, I try to catch myself from having that up. Well, such and something's going to happen, and I kept feeling that way against Dallas because I was like, damn,
So you're not.
they're a man up. Like, come on. But then I looked back and I was like, look at what they just did this month. And I had to like stop myself.
So you're not going to Matty B it, is what you're saying. So like I even talked to Al. Like everyone here, fans, media, everyone around the city is happy what Bradley Cornell is doing. He does tend to get snippy with the Philadelphia media. He tends to get. I mean, I don't know.
I
Who
like it.
hasn't he
I don't
had?
mind it.
I don't know me. I know there's a couple other guys that he's gotten snippy with. Some guys that we really really like, and he's gotten snippy with. But he's going to give you the questions whether you like it or not. He's going to give it straightforward. It may
Yeah.
not be the best taste of bread that you're biting into, but guess what? At the end of the day, it's full in your belly. It's filling the belly right now, and that's what he's doing. So I've asked Al, our great guy Al Safiri here on the network, and I asked him, "I'll count
Yeah.
on. Have you ever dealt with a head coach that snippy, but the proof's in the pudding?" Is no, he's dealt with players, but not coach. I said this
Not a
is the
head
first
coach.
time I've dealt with a coach that's kind of snippy, but you know uh, he's silencing the room. Is the works on the field has been proven. His messages are not empty. It's constantly players are stepping up every week, and I love it. I love it.
I think he wants to get out of I think he just wants to get in and out of there. He's ready to get home. He's like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to get this quick and short, and they're going to get used to it because some of them are. Some of them are short. Some of them he's in and out. I mean, Curtin used to be up there for, 15 plus minutes sometimes, talking.
Yeah, I mean, he goes from there. He goes from the to the field, quick messages with the guys, talking with his team. He
Yeah.
comes up, answers the hard questions that get thrown at him. He gives it right back, and he goes on about his business.
Bill Belichick
Yes,
from back in the
yes,
day, right?
yes.
Not fully, but enough, a little bit, a
No,
little dose of it.
no, right. You would need a translator to understand what comes out of Belichick, but yeah, it's so
Dude,
far, but yeah, but a little snippy. But listen, at the end of the day, we're happy with this coach. Are you have
mhm.
any interest in these Atlantis games? And this Atlantis game
No,
coming up? I mean,
no.
I don't see
I,
the.
I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch it just because I want to see who these backups, the bench guys,
Mm-hmm.
what they're able to do because you don't know how long um those sort of lineups are going to be put out. You got Danley is with Haiti. Quinn and Nate are playing with USA, and they're actually in the same group. Blake is with Jamaica. So if they advance, you know, the tournament runs from the 14th through the 24th, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, sorry. Until July 6th is the or July 6th is the final game.
Right.
So let's say USA advances all the way. Now you don't have Nate or Quinn until July 12th versus Red Bull. Because I doubt that they're going to play. They're not going to play against Nashville and then turn around and go play against the championship game in the Gold Cup. So I'll be interested at this Atlas game just to see what these bench guys can do. You're going to get a lot of Cavan. You're going to get a lot of Bender. You're going to get shoot, I don't even think, you're not going to get those guys even for this game because they got
No, no,
called up for the under 17 or under 20,
yeah.
so it'll be interesting to see. One thing though, I'm looking at the schedule, right? You got Chicago on the 25th of June, and then you got Houston July 19th, right? So you're going to have 3 away games where the Union are going to be playing a former Union. You got Elliott versus on Chicago, and then
Mm-hmm.
you're going to travel to Columbus versus
Yeah.
Gazdag,
Yeah.
July 19th, you're going to travel to Houston to go against McGlynn. So within 30 days, the Union are going to
All
have,
friends.
emotional games again, so, and then, like you mentioned it, on top of the Nashville game, the, get back game from earlier in March. And then you're going to have 2 games against the Red Bulls. You got the US Open Cup game. So the really only gimme game is kind of like Montreal, I feel like. Wednesday, July 16th. That's on the schedule right now with an uncertain roster. And that's the only thing that worries me is we're talking about a team these last 17 games that is not going to be the same team possibly for a few games. And that's going to be what, we're really going to see what Carnell can be. And I got faith in him.
Yeah, I do too. Like I would doubt the guy if he couldn't, make the right decisions. I'm with you. I think this guy does great, and I like the direction. Like you said, we this is what happens through the course of the summer. Guys get called up, some injuries come into play,
Yep.
and Bradley Cornell's like, "Hey, listen, I know what I signed up for. I'll deal with it.
Yep.
I'll find and I'll come up with the best solution of what I've been dealt with." But yeah, it's going to be an interesting road, nonetheless, for this squad as they get ready to become road warriors after Father's Day weekend. Bringing
Yeah.
to Charlotte,
Road
not
Warriors. I like that.
road warriors. There ain't much on the slate this weekend. To me, there's only one game to really watch. As far as MLS regular play, that would be Seattle and Vancouver on the Sunday nighter. That's pretty
Yeah.
much the only game to really look forward to as far as checking it out. But next week we'll have to get into and dive into Charlotte and see what they are going to bring to us, as we approach that big game, as we approach Father's Day weekend and so forth. So not like I said, not much on the slate. So Steve, let's go run this run the MLS and let's, regular play. I gave you one of mine. I'm going to go Seattle taking the dub right there. I'm going to go with the Sanders up making the upset on Vancouver. What do you got?
And they just took both of these guys, or both these teams, coming off the L. Vancouver coming off the upset loss in the what was that? The CONCACAF Champions Cup,
Right,
right?
right.
I believe, yeah. So I'm gonna go with Seattle too. That's where my heart's at. Vancouver, we need them to not get too many points, because that's who the Union are going to be
Right. Supporter shield.
dealing with for the supporter shield. And they play them September 13th away. That's going to be a huge game now. No one thought, when you looked at that schedule, no one thought that September 13th, that game could mean so much in the supporter shield
And listen,
standings.
hopefully things, the two teams can stay on top of the hill and let that game be the battle of heavyweights.
Yeah.
Know what I mean?
The other game,
What other games are on the
I would
slate?
I would say, LAFC, Kansas City could be a good one on Sunday. That one could be a good one.
Give me LAFC. Where's it at?
Yeah, I think they're gonna.
Is it in
I
LA?
think they're gonna win too. I believe so. Let me check. Yep. Yeah. So they're winning. They're winning. And then Portland, St. Louis.
Portland. Give me Portland.
I'm gonna go St. Louis. They had a win last week. They're riding a high. Only a few games on. They got the spotlight on them, and that's on Sunday. That's the Sunday slate.
Oh, that's the Sunday slate. Okay.
Saturday, there's only 2 games. You got DC United versus Chicago. 2 teams on the outside of the playoffs right now. And
Yeah.
now that we're past now that we're at the halfway point, are we looking at teams now who could be scary because they're on the they're on the outside, just on the outside looking in of the playoff spots from here on out?
No, but I mean, because
Still not time.
It's still not time. Plus, the way this team is, they're not taking their foot off the gas pedal with anybody. They're not taking anyone lightly.
I think I like Chicago. I like Chicago. I like what they're doing. That's going to be an interesting game versus
Okay, I do too.
when we play them on the 25th. That'll be an interesting game. And then you got Colorado, Austin, 9:30.
Last year would have been a better game to watch. Give me
Yeah,
Austin. Colorado, I don't know
I'm gonna go
what happened to them.
Colorado.
They fell off the earth.
Yeah, they did.
I
That's my
mean,
favorite thing. LA
I thought
Galaxy
they were
got
an
their first
upcoming
win.
team, and woo,
Finally,
woo,
good for them.
they're gonna flip the script. You better look at. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
Give
and then
me.
that's it. That's it for this week.
Oh, that's it. That's the only thing that's left. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
listen,
That
not much at all. But Steve, I'm going to ask you Saturday night. What's the meal plan for the day?
Oh man, it's supposed to be crappy weather. I think
Mm-hmm.
I think we're gonna do a
Need some
chili.
rain. Ooh,
Yeah, I think it's gonna be. Yeah, I think
ooh.
do
Sounds
chili in the
about
crock
right.
pot. Let it. Yep, let it cook and be good to go, and
There you go.
figure out the rest from there. But that sounds good to me.
Yeah, that sounds
What do you
great to
got?
me. The Gobbler. Well, since I'm going to be home because I'm doing the Phillies Pirates post game shows.
Yeah, you're busy
I
this
want
weekend. You're busy Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, listen, I'm gonna live off this computer like it's never mind. Um, like it's internet. You never mind. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna say I want to do some. I know I did burgers already. Darn. You gotta save Sunday for pasta. Well, you got me the pickle now.
Yeah, see,
Give me.
type
I
of
want.
Italian would you be if you didn't have it on Sunday?
Oh.
Yeah,
I have to do. Probably gonna have to do some chicken. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to fry some chicken or something. But yeah, I'm gonna
there you
check
go.
out that game. It's gonna look. It goes from the Pirates game. It's gonna lead me right into the Phillies game. So, but anyway, listen. Let's
Look
get
at
ready
him.
there. Yeah, yeah.
Look at him.
You get that ugly mug on Friday. Mike Claro, my main man. You got him on Friday, and then you got double vision of me Saturday and Sunday of the Gobbler. But don't
No,
worry.
but then on Friday too.
And then you got me on Friday. You got me on Friday night, right there, the wraparound with me. Again, I'll be talking some Union. I'll be talking some Philly, other Philadelphia sports like the Phillies and what's going on. And is this Manning's jinx is for real? But yeah, I'll dive into that tomorrow night for all you night dwellers. And then, of course, Sunday morning will never be the same because the boys are back in town. The boys are back at it. That's it. Dumb and Dumber, Pat Bernard, Mike Lauro. Yeah, if there's a sports conversation, we'll never agree on it. If you're looking for sports intelligence, you came to the wrong place. And then of course tonight at 10 o'clock, the man, the monster, the mayor of Mayfair, my man Matty B. We will see what's going through the mindset of that young man, and find out what's going on, what's how he feels about this Phillies loss. I can only imagine he's got the belt
Oh, it's
ready
gonna
in
be
hand.
good.
He's got the belt and axe ready at the door, and
It's gonna be good.
he's going to be huffing and puffing. But and stay tuned because we may be having some new content coming to the It's a Wrap Sports Network. Something maybe from across the state. So, guys,
Oh,
keep your eyes out on It's a Wrap Sports. There's a lot to go on, a lot
Aaron
to be
Rodgers.
desired. Well, hopefully, that's not our problem. That's the thing. That's not our problem. That sounds like a
I thought you're
Pittsburgh
getting Aaron
problem.
Rodgers coming
No,
to It's a Rap
uh,
Sports Network because he
I
just
mean,
signed with Pittsburgh. I was
I'll
gonna
tell
say,
you this.
holy man.
I'll tell you this much: a couple of our old friends are ripping their hair out about what's going on. It's what I've heard on yesterday. The world's on fire over there in Pittsburgh. So
Oh man,
a couple of our
it'll
old
be the end
friends.
of Tomlin's streak. I can't wait to see it happen.
Yes. Yeah. So, guys, stay tuned to more, guys. Matty B coming up next, right here on It's Around Sports. Listen, the hottest podcast show going is right here at It's Around Sports because there's nothing but grinders on this network. So, guys, me, Steve Fernandez, we'll catch you later. This has been another great edition of the Attack and Third episode, season 5, episode 11. So, guys, thank you so much. For me, Steve, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Go Union.
Oop.